talk about breadth versus depth, and kind of want to backtrack here, but data is your best friend, and you should use it if you have it, and if you don't know how to use it, find someone that does know how to use it for you. So my purpose of this is talk about breadth versus depth, and that's because, I just got inspired because I talked to a boutique the other day, and I've also experienced this back when I had the Texas territory, and I saw so many, as a salesperson talking to boutiques, chasing, like calling me to order 1 unit or 2 units of this pink jacket, and it's very reactive versus proactive. And I can tell you, one of the things that the big companies do is they plan their business, and they plan it well far in advance. And I think that's something that boutiques don't know, even smaller businesses don't know, even in probably maybe the under $10 million range. A company I'd worked with, they were very just in time. And I think just in time is a good thing. I know Zara, that's part of their business model, but I will say that there's also nuances to that. Like, you should still plan your business. But anyways, so breadth versus depth, this is something, if you do a season analysis, then you should be able to kind of identify. And my whole purpose of this is to help you grow your sales, because if you buy everything in breadth, you buy 1 pack of everything, your store's it's a visual thing. It's a balance between visual numbers and sales and customer and all these things too. So if you buy 1 pack of everything, you're going to have a whole lot of everything, and the customer has no idea what you stand for. There's definitely items they come in and they look that are cute, but I guarantee you there's 1 item in there, maybe 3 items, that they come in and they sell out really fast. The way to grow your business is to increase those items that sell out fast. And I'm guessing you're saying, how do I know they're going to sell out fast? Well, that's where the data comes in. So I'm sure if you were to look at your sales year over year, season after season, there is a pattern. For instance, maybe she walks in, depending on where you are, if you're a New York store or a Texas store, it's going to be very different. But maybe, the minute it gets cold, you come in and you sell a bunch of sweaters, and that date could very well vary between New York and Texas. And even Texas, I don't think I put on a sweater until, probably until December this year, which is later and later and later. It used to be like October, now it's December. So, there's only so much planning, but that would be like a push and pull strategy where you need sweaters, but you might need 2 months worth versus 5 months worth. So that is a push and pull strategy. And you can say, I know in the hottest, warmest winter, I sold X amount of sweaters. I know I'm going to at least need that at minimum. So right there, all your sweaters all together, that is your minimum buy for sweaters. Okay, that's your minimum. Then you're gonna have your maximum. Why don't look at like the coldest winter we had and the longest winter we had, how many sweaters did you have? So now your number is gonna be somewhere between that minimum and that maximum number. And then probably it's gonna be somewhere in the middle. So if you buy in that average number, the amount of sweaters, then you're in a safe place, right? If it ends up being warmer, you're not that too far off. You're a little bit off. You might sell through 75%, mark down 25. That's not a bad place to be. If it ends up being really cold and you sell through 100%, that's not a bad place to be. So just finding your min and max on sweaters. So that is a depth thing. And it doesn't have to be in one particular item, but it could be in a category, it could be in a trend, it could be in lots of different things, depth. So sweaters, so depth and sweaters, that's a seasonal item. Well, then you can go into, right before when it starts warming up. So after, let's see, February, we have March. So that's when people start to wear white, right? So now let's look at your white season and do the exact same thing. What is the least amount of white and maximum amount of white I ever sold? And it's also going to vary. Maybe you had a top that was white and nobody liked. Well, that's a fluke. But overall, just an average number of white. So maybe you take 3 years and average the white you sold from the white season, which I would say is from March to whatever that Labor Day, Memorial, the end of that day is. And how much you sold, and again, find that average number, right? So you might sell through 100%, you might sell through 75%. So again, that's going to be depth and white. Then you can have your trendy items, right? So biker shorts, that could be potentially a depth item. You could have it in several different styles, or you could have it in one style and have a lot of depth behind it if you really, really believe in it. And I would not buy that color or I mean, not that color, but that style, unless you know for sure it fits. You know the length is the perfect length, because sometimes we know, just like the trend of crop jeans and stuff, like there's the perfect cropped jeans. Sometimes they're too long, sometimes they're too short, or maybe, you know, it's too tight around the knee or anything. So just find this fit that you love. So I wouldn't buy depth behind anything unless you know for sure the fit is right, the color is right, the trend is right, all these things. And this is kind of your due diligence of a buyer. Spend some time researching, get out, ask your customers, and be confident in the depth. And I think that's probably the number one reason why I think people don't buy depth, is they're scared to buy it and it not sell. And I think if you do your research between studying trends of what's out there, asking your customer, knowing your area, you know, New York versus Texas, a coast versus the Midwest are very different. Know your customer. Don't try to buy what somebody else is buying, because you have a different customer. And that seems obvious, but it kind of can be a little more specific too. So again, if you are selling to like the 40+ woman, or maybe mid 30s and up, maybe biker shorts isn't going to be your jam this season. Maybe it's more like a Bermuda short, where it's like, it's still got the length, but it's not as tight. So, and again, make sure it's not see-through. Make sure it's the right fabric. It's all these things. And so these are questions you should ask. You should know your fabrics. Does it have stretch? Does it not have stretch? Make sure it's machine washable. All these things. And make sure you can sell it for the price point. Know what your shorts sell at. So these are all factors that, if you have all these factors, which seems like a lot, but that is your job as a buyer, is to know these things. You can put depth behind it and you can sell a lot of money. A lot of the money is behind the depth items. So then back to breadth here, going a little off here, but back to breadth. So I would put breadth in something completely new. So if you're unsure of a trend, but you also don't want to miss a trend, you know, but like if you're trying a new fabric for the first time, something totally out there that you've never sold anything like it before, I would not go deep on it. If this is your first year in business, I probably wouldn't do a lot of depth. I would do a bunch of breadth. So you're not stuck with everything. Unsure of, for a good reason, but still believe it. So yeah, if you're unsure of something, maybe there's like something that's questionable about it, like you couldn't find out some sort of information, you know, maybe breadth in that. Yeah, so really trying something new, but something you just have like no data to back it up on. But depth would be stuff you know for a fact the customer likes the fabric, you know the fit is right, you know the length is right, you know, you've tried it on, it fit you, other people have tried it on, it fit you, get it. Or it's a good color. Like I think navy is a classic color. The trend, the kind of the color of the season is going to be something you can put depth behind. The white thing, the sweaters thing, so all these things depth. And so really the key to a perfect merchandise mix is having this depth versus breadth. So I just want to encourage boutique buyers to really do your diligence and do the research, do the pre-work. Be proactive versus reactive, and do the research and go in depth on some things, and don't be afraid of it. Like if you be confident, but the way you get confidence is by doing research. Think of like a lawyer getting up on trial. They don't get up there with no information. They get up there because they've researched, they've interviewed people, they have all this information, and they can get up there and be confident. So confidence is key, and how confidence comes is knowledge and information. So breadth versus depth. And back to that, I just want to encourage boutique buyers to not be scared of depth, you know, like don't go over the top. And again, too, if you sold like 200 pairs of jeans total last year and you sold out, then you can definitely increase that number. So again, go back to numbers and know your numbers. It's a confidence thing. If you know for sure that you've sold 200 jeans, then why can you not sell 200 jeans again this year? So again, color and all that, you know, and think it through. What can I outfit it with? I can for sure outfit this dark jean with all these things, but I can't do the light. So I'm probably going to go in more depth in the dark than the light. And again, that's to your store, because maybe a lighter might be better in the south and a darker in the north. You're on the subway all the time, you want dark jeans, you don't want to be wearing white jeans as much on the subway. Think about these things. So it's all custom to your boutique, but you can learn from all your data. And then, so I'm going to go on to a next slide and talk about a few more examples. So again, reiterating, last year's information is crucial. It's your best friend in your business. Learn how to pull that data. If you don't know how to pull it, reach out to me or find somebody who does, and start learning to look at it in a way like I told you about in the prior slide. And then if you aren't tracking your data, you're missing out on sales. So yeah, find a way to start tracking that data. And then leave chasing to a last resort. This is totally being reactive instead of proactive. Be a proactive buyer. That's where the money's at. Yeah, chasing should be a last resort. So I've chased in a lot of the big companies, but we do it in a scenario where we've done all our research and for some reason something else took off, which really wasn't ever the case. It was more like something did take off and we needed more of it. So we exceeded our sales goal kind of thing. So yeah, so don't chase, be proactive. And what proactive is doing a recap of your sales after every month or every season or big holiday or peak period, Mother's Day, holiday, kind of the 4th of July, like how much red, white, and blue did you sell, back to school, whatever your season is, kid stuff can be applied to anything. And then also just like, know your customer. A biker short this season, it might be better for a Bermuda short. The longer short's kind of coming in. But maybe if she's 60, maybe she doesn't want to wear a biker short. Maybe she wants something a little loose. So again, as like a navy blazer, this might be a fit for some people. If you have a very traditional kind of elite thing, customer, then maybe a navy blazer, like maybe it used to be black, but this year it's going to be navy. It was kind of plaid for a bit. So maybe you could replace your plaid sales with navy sales. These are just different things that you have to think through. And this is where consultant comes through, because you can ask these questions to this person and identify your customer and get it specific. If you're on the coast, maybe you can put the depth in your coastal items. And that's what you're known for, is that if you're a Louisiana boutique and you're near LSU, put your depth in the purple and the yellow. You can't go wrong with that. There's a lot of LSU people, a lot of LSU graduates, and maybe everything else around you is just your breadth and other little things, but your depth is LSU colors. And then like an example would be JCPenney. Their depth is behind the deals because that's who their customer is. It's value driven. If you're Neiman Marcus, putting your depth behind the most luxurious, most fashionable, desirable item. And then if you're a jewelry company, maybe it's the item that they can wear with everything, or maybe it's just an item that you designed and you just like adore it. You design it and just something about it is like your favorite piece. So maybe that's the one to go all in on. Maybe it's the greatest gift giving item, or the one everyone's always asking for. Put depth behind that and then start building it out in different sizes and colors and all that. That's where you can put your depth. And then if you're an athletic company and you do collections every month, what are your top selling colors? So you can put depth behind specific colors that are specific to your brand. So maybe it's sparkle, and everything sparkle is like your number one quote unquote color. And then after that, then maybe these other colors aren't as strong. So just a few little tips and tricks. I hope it's helpful. My name is Jenna. This is me. I've got a little video here, and not sure if you'll be able to watch it on here or not. But thank you so much. Be sure to hit like if this helped you. Again, leave a comment and make sure to hit subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Hey y'all, it's Jenna at New York City Fashion Consulting. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to hit like if it helped you so I can know to keep doing these videos, and subscribe if you want to see more. I have a ton more videos, so be sure to check them out. I'm doing this to help people, so hopefully these helpful. My goal is for you guys to grow your sales. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions, leave a comment and I do respond to them. So I'm happy to respond to your comments. Thank you and have a great day.